Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another Daily News with your hockey coach, Coach Frenchy. Today, episode number 30. What your menu coach today? One subject, but a big one. I want to talk about the NHL goalies. Not an easy path to draft a good one and become a good starter in NHL. And I want to show you what the Montreal Canadiens should do or they need to do to select a good goaltender and develop that goaltender, become a starter in NHL. But before we start, we invite you, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Show, and leave me a comments about this episode. And let's dive in and talk about the only subject we have today. My first subject, guys, about the Montreal Canadiens. What would be the path to find a good starter for the future when you become a contender in NHL? This video could be a little bit longer because I have graphic, I have a lot of contents inside that video. So hopefully you're going to stay until to the end and to let you know what is my suggestion for the Montreal Canadiens. First of all, guys, the Montreal Canadiens has front old. We know the top 6 forward. They need to draft another center, and they have difficulties to find a right defenseman. And the most important thing, they need a goaltender. And that's what the purpose of this video, to show to you what Montreal need to do to find a good, solid goaltender when you become a contender. The first thing I want to talk about, guys, in this NHL draft, and the last couple of years, they have only 2 years when we saw 2 teams recruit a goaltender in the first round. In 2021, both teams moved up. Detroit select Kosa, and the Minnesota got Wallstead. Kosa played in the East Coast Hockey League right now, and Wallstead have a good year in the American Hockey League with the Iowa Wild. In 2012, the Tampa Bay select Vasilevsky, 19th overall pick, and the Boston Bruins select Malcolm Subban. You know what happening, both of them. Vasilevsky become a superstar in NHL. Subban never reach his full potential. For this case, guys, what I did, I looked for the goaltender, play 45 games during the season 2022 and 2023. We found 21 goalies play over 45 games this year, and 2 of them was undrafted, Georgiev and Bobrovsky. Now, what I did for one of the 21 goalies, I select Grobauer over Martin Jones. I want to show to you guys a specific graphic about where they are coming from, the goaltender. 11 of the 21 goaltender I'm talking about was drafted by a specific team in NHL. 5 of them was on the UFA free agent signature contract. 4 of them was trade, and 1 of them came from the European as a free agent. From the graphic, like I mentioned to you, 11 of the 19 team, it was drafted by a specific team. But I want to share a little bit more the 5 UFA AAV. The average contract was $6.43 million. And only one of the 21 goaltenders this year have an amazing, great year. Ullmark. Otherwise, no one of them performed very well. I know Bobrovsky is doing well right now, but he have a very miserable year this season with some injuries. Finally, 4 of them was trade, and the cost in return, it was only draft pick. Example, Georgiev for the Washington to the Colorado. Uso from Detroit got from St. Louis Blues. And finally, Washington trade Vanecek, New Jersey Devil. Now, let's go back on the 21 starter. 19 of them was draft between year 2011 to 2017. 2 of them was draft guys prior. Max Strom in 2008 and Fleury in 2003. Now, when I did more deeper search, I figured out something, guys. It takes 6 years to become a starter in NHL. Let's see a graphic to show to you how many it takes to become a starter in NHL. On this graphic, guys, Marc-Andre Fleury drafted in 2003. He became a starter in 2005. It took him 2 years. Carter Hart, 3 years. Vasilevsky, Ottinger, Hellebuck, 4 years in NHL. Gibson and Skinner, 6 years. Chesterkin, 6 years. Following by Velmeka, 6 years too. You have 3 other goaltenders at 7 years, 3 more 8 years, 2 for 9 years, and 2 more goaltenders at 10 years. This is the list, what I'm talking about, how many years it takes to become a solid goaltender in NHL. So average guy, it takes 6 years to become starter in NHL. Let's move on. Now, my next graphic, guys, I want to talk is about in which round the NHL draft their goalies. And I have a specific number of goalies was drafted per round between 2011 to 2017. On this graphic, guys, I want to talk about the goalie was drafted between 2011 to 2017. 20 of them was drafted second round. 5 of them never played more at 5 games. 13 of the 20 guys played less than 100 game in NHL. 7 of them played over 100 game. Third round, 31 was selected and drafted by different team in NHL. 13 of them never played more than 5 games. 24 of them played less than 100 game. And only 7 of them played over 100 game in NHL for a percentage of 22.6. 4 round, 21 of them was drafted. 17 of them never played more at 100 game. And only 4 of them reached the total of more at 100 game as a starter in NHL for a percentage of 19%. Round number 5, 18 was drafted. 15 of them never played more at 100 game. Only 3 of them was over 100 game in NHL. That gave them a percentage of 16.7. Round number 6, 28 of them. 26 of them never played more at 100 game. So 2 only of them played more at 100, and that gave them a percentage of 7.1. And round number 7, 24 was drafted. 23 never played more at 100 game, and for a percentage only of 4.1%. If you resume what I just talked about this graphic, guys, 145 goalies was drafted between 2011 to 2017. 119 of them never made the NHL as a starter. Only 18% of all the goaltenders make the NHL as a starter from 145 NHL goaltender draft by different team in NHL. The best round to select a goaltender and make it is round number 1 and round number 2 that have a better chance. They have some goaltender, round number 4, round number 5, was select, like example, Chesterkin, Zaros, and Zorokin. But otherwise, you need to have really the right path. You need to select a goaltender, round number 1 or round number 2. My next thing I want to talk about, guys, is how many teams select goaltender between 2011 and 2017. Let's see the graphic. The Anaheim select 4 goaltender, Arizona 2 only, Boston 4, Buffalo 5, Calgary 4. And you can follow the list. You can pause the video, guys. Now you can see other team, how many goaltender they select. Example, Detroit, Edmonton, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Vancouver, Washington. Again, pause it. You can see how many goaltender was selected by different team between 2011 2017. From that graphic, guys, what happening? The Carolina Hurricane and the Nashville Predator, all both teams select the most goaltender with 8. And Montreal with 5 other teams, they select less of 3 goaltenders from year 2011 to 2017. Point behind that, Montreal we know because they carry prize. Now, to sharing with you the conclusion of this case today, guys, first of all, you need to draft a goaltender round number 1 or round number 2. They have a better chance to become a starter in NHL. You have to be patient. It takes an average of 4 to 6 years before that goaltender become a starter in NHL. For the transition, it's really important what you're talking about. Example, Minnesota Wild and the Detroit Red Wings, they select a goaltender for the transition. Fleury, example, with the Minnesota Wild. Detroit, they select Ville Husso. Until the time they develop Wallstead and Kosa, they need a solid goaltender. That's what they are right now, their starter for during that transition. Finally, they have another way you can get a goaltender by trade. The cost is high. The another way you can get a goaltender is by free agent, and the cost minimum at least is $5 million for what I saw for the last couple of years. At the end of the day, guys, for the Montreal Canadiens, and that's the reason I make that case today. Montreal need to draft a goaltender at second round, their 37 overall pick. They have 35% of chance that goaltender become a starter in NHL. It's not a lot. Draft a goalie, guy, is not easy. Tampa Bay got Vasilevsky. Boston got Subban. Which goaltender the Montreal Canadiens are going to get? A Vasilevsky or a Subban? They have a chance right now this year at the NHL Draft 2023 to select a good goaltender second round as a 37 overall pick. Again, this case, guys, just open up our eyes where it's not easy to get a starter in NHL. You need to do your homework about goaltender to select them and draft them properly at the right round. Hopefully you enjoyed that case today. And leave me a comments. What do you think? about that case today and let me know what the Montreal Canadiens should do to get a goaltender for the future. By draft, by trade, or by UFA. This concludes, guys, my subject of the day. Here we go, guys. Hopefully you enjoy it. But before we leave, we invite you, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Show, and leave me a comment about this episode. We want to remind you, you have greatness inside of you, and we wish you an amazing, great, blessing day, everybody.